In the year 1534, the city of Quito, in Ecuador, was a small Spanish colonial village. The Spanish conquistadors had recently arrived in the region, and were eager to build a city to serve as a base for their operations. One day, the Franciscan friars decided to build a church in Quito. The most imposing church in the place, and for that, they hired an indigenous master builder, the best of all at that time, named Cantuña, to be in charge of its construction and the atrium of the church. Cantuña was a strong and hard-working man, but the deadline to finish the construction was very short. The friars gave him only 6 months to finish, or else they would arrest him and send him to prison. Cantuña got to work immediately, but the work was too much for him. As the deadline approached, Cantuña realized that he was not going to be able to finish the atrium on time. One night, while Cantuña was working in the atrium, and seeing his despair at not being able to finish his work, a man dressed in black appeared before him, with a long cape and a wide-brimmed hat that hid his face. This man was the devil, and he offered Cantuña a deal. The devil told Cantuña that he would finish all the work for him, but that in exchange, Cantuña would have to give him his soul. Cantuña was desperate, so he accepted the devil's deal, but with the condition that if he was missing, only a stone would forgive him, and he would leave him his soul so he could live in peace. The devil accepted, and at that moment he sent hundreds of demons to do all the work that night, but Cantuña began to think about how to deceive the devil, how to prevent the devil from taking his soul. And he had the magnificent idea of hiding a stone, one of those that the demons used in their construction, and so it was that when dawn arrived the devil showed up to demand what was agreed upon, but Cantuña told him that he could not give him his soul, because the church had not been completed and therefore the deal was not complete. When the devil asked him what he was referring to, if everything was ready, Cantuña took him to the atrium and showed him the place where it was missing. A stone, the devil seeing the hole where the last stone should be placed, the one that had been hidden by Cantuña, the devil retreated furiously, telling him that it was the first time that a person beat him. When the friars saw the finished atrium, they were amazed. They couldn't believe that one man could have finished it in such a short time. Cantuña received his payment from the friars, and left Quito with his soul intact. However, the devil did not forget the deal they had made. Years later, Cantuña was walking through the church atrium when he saw a stone that had not been there before. The stone was in the center of the court, and it had an inscription on it. The inscription read, "The devil has left this stone as a sign that Cantuña owes him his soul." There are variations regarding the telling of this story and its veracity. The truth is that, like every legend, it has something real, and that as the years go by it adapts according to circumstances and times. In reality, Cantuña did exist, and his name was Francisco Cantuña, and he was a blacksmith and not a bricklayer, and he did contribute to the construction of the Cathedral of Quito, but with cast iron gates on the side doors of the temple, which are still preserved, despite after more than 300 years had passed, and his body was buried under the atrium mentioned in the legend, which was missing a stone. They named it in his honor, the Atrium of Cantuña. If you visit the Church of San Francisco in Quito, you will be able to find this historical evidence, as well as the detail that Cantuña left in print, that this chapel had been built and completed on November 22, 1669. These are some of the thousands of legends that have a real basis in people around the world, but that over the years become distorted, giving them a more mysterious and striking touch, so that they last in the collective consciousness of the